Welcome to the Rookies, everybody. This is a semi-weekly stream where we get together and we play Jump Rangers. Myself, Liz Ransdell, and Buster the Destroyer. Jump Rangers is a science fiction universe and a tabletop role-playing game about kids space commandos trying to claim a space for humanity amongst the stars, um, and in the shadow of an alien dinosaur empire. And the basic conceit of the game is that about 25 years from now, the motherships of the Saurian horde, filled with giant telepathic Tyrannosaurus rexes and their army of undersoars, darken our skies and just brush aside our civilization. The only way people can survive is by sneaking aboard these alien spaceships and colonizing their empire. So we kind of become the bedbugs or the borrowers or the rats of the universe. And while the grown-ups are trying to cling to that sad, miserable, pathetic existence, there's a brave bunch of kids who have banded together to try and make a better future for people. So they're sneaking aboard these alien spaceships and finding new places to colonize and helping refugees from one place to another, stopping alien extermination efforts and stealing alien technology and finding ways of retaking Earth. And we call these heroes Jump Rangers, and that's what we're playing when we play the game. Anybody who plays Jump Rangers is playing a person between the ages of 5 and 18, um, and you've been trained by your fellow Jump Rangers to help save humanity, and then you've unleashed yourself upon the galaxy. And our characters today are Bam Bam, played by Buster the Destroyer, and Ripper, played by Liz Ransdell. Bam Bam is our let's say weapons expert, and Ripper is a psychic powerhouse. Buster, do you want to tell everybody what's going on in your life and where to find you?
Yeah, I am just working all the time, trying to stream once in a while when I can. Been playing the started Oblivion again.
Nice.
Thanks, Bethesda. I just finished Oblivion finally. What was it, like a few months ago? I was just like,
Yes.
oh my god, I finally finished this game for the
Yep.
first time in my life. And then like
They remastered
they
it.
were, yeah, and I'm like, well, here we go again. And I'm literally doing the same exact thing. I'm just doing stealth archer again.
Okay. Okay.
But I think this time I would probably be a lot slower and kind of try to like, get some of the other things up, like and I did a custom class
Okay.
this time too.
What's your custom class? How does that work?
It's basically the agent, just with like one thing offset from agent.
Okay. Okay.
It's like there was like one skill I just wanted to swap out for another, and I can't remember what it was off the top of my head, but it was like it makes more sense with the way I play.
So let's assume for a moment that I have a sense of what the Elder Scrolls is, and let's assume that I've played Skyrim. What is Oblivion about exactly?
uh, Closing a bunch of gates
Okay.
so that they
So,
don't eat the world with
so hell
fire.
can't keep leaking in.
Gotcha. So it's
Yeah,
all about
just closing hell up.
the Daedra trying to take over the world, kind of.
Yeah, and I guess it sets up Skyrim a bit, because even in Skyrim, I think there's reference to the Oblivion Gates.
They do have a number of missions and a number of Daedra-esque things going on.
I don't know. I think some of the Daedra gods are pretty great, to be honest. I think that they have the Daedra princes. There's a reason that they should live. My favorite interaction in the game is like with one of the Daedric gods originally is like this dragony looking one, and you walk up and all the followers are like, something's wrong with him. And then when you walk up to talk to him, he's like, my followers are so embarrassing. Can you help them? He's like, hello, mortal. And then he's like, my followers are idiots. I have a clip of it somewhere on Twitch. It's just I can't wait to do it again now. But anyway, but yeah, it's fun. It's good, and I'll probably play some a little bit later tonight. But yeah,
What is the setting of it? Where does it take place?
in a place called Tamriel,
Okay.
I think. I guess like
Which is the elf
I think
place, is that right? That's the elf place?
no, Tamriel I think is for the Imperials.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
the Imperial
The humans,
city is there, and
the white humans. That's what an
Okay.
Imperials are.
Okay.
I mean, let's be honest.
It's Rome.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
Rome.
Okay. Got it. All right.
And I will say, like the updates on the character creator stuff, like the way that your character could look now, and even like the Khajiit, the cat people, and the lizard people, the Argonians. Wow, I'm really impressed with I'm super impressed with how
Oh no, I'm
they
gonna
look
have to
now.
play it again. I've
Girl,
played it so many times.
it's so good. It's the only thing is it's $60, just like at every new game.
Okay,
But
so
it's
Mother's Day.
there you go. Boom, boom, boom. Tell your kids.
Tell my kids to go in on it all together.
Liz's kids. Liz's kids, are you listening? Are you around?
Some of them might be actually. I don't know if anyone's.
Whittle.
They pop in from time to time.
Whittle,
Let's see if
stop
we have.
yelling at me.
We do have some. We do have some. Although as soon as you said that, someone turned off the. Someone stopped
Oops.
following. So maybe we may. They'll come back. They'll come
Those sons of bitches.
back. So fantastic. And if someone were to watch your adventures in Tamriel,
Yeah, right below my name right
there
here.
you go. Perfect.
Twitch.tv/Story. Whittle, stop yelling at me. She's mad at me. Oh, fine.
What's going on with you, Liz? How's life?
Oh, life is crazy. I have left the studio that I was working with and helped co-found so that I could focus on my own projects for a little bit. And so now, but we're still doing, of course, I'm still working with them. And so we're starting our next Kickstarter. We've been working on this cartoon for 3 years. We have over 100 episodes out, and we finally decided it was time to put it in a book form. So Thursday on Kickstarter at Studio Metropolis, on their Kickstarter page, they will be starting to fund the physical copy of My Boyfriend is a Shark, which I'm really excited about. It's about time to see them be able to turn pages, not scroll down webtoons. And
Yeah.
so we're going to release it, of course, and still in a digital format as well. But again, less scrolling, more fun, and some episodes that have not been seen before that are just for the book, and just a good time to be had by all. So I'm looking forward to funding that and getting that book out into the world.
Have you been
So.
writing extra episodes the whole time, or is it something that you're working on to finish the book now? If you don't mind my asking.
Every once in a while, I would have an idea and go, "Oh, I need to hang on to that. It doesn't really fit right now." And so we've got some of those, but we also have some full page ones that we
What's
don't
wrong with
usually
you?
write those because that was a
What's
lot of
going
work for
on?
the artist. So, so those will be going in, specifically for the book. So,
Congratulations. That's very
thank
exciting.
you. I'm very excited to see it.
That's really good. Perfect. All right. So during our last adventure with the rookies, the two of you had uh, not exactly stormed,
Hey,
but kind of actually slid your way into the ruins formerly known as Tokyo. Um, on the coast, there is a massive Saurian installation known to everybody in human space or the human colonies as Alien City, and it's the only proper Saurian metropolis on Earth. It's the only place with a spaceport on Earth, and it's enormous. And the two of you have been asked to try and pull information out of the mainframes there by Bridget Hawk Northwind, who is the commander of Hawk's Nest on Mars, the human colony in the solar system. Um, so, um, Bam Bam has flown in with a Pegasus space fighter and a human colonist pilot named Robin, call sign Robin, flying on her wing. And Ripper has just disembarked from a cargo ship, a Hermes cargo ship, with a Cerebus quad bike. And the Cerebus is just pretty much exactly like G.I. Joe. It's exactly like you remember. It's got tough little wheels. It's got blaster cannons on the front of it. It's got handlebars. It's got room for 2 if you need it, and it's got a winch if you need to tow yourself up something. That's what you're dealing with. The city itself is surrounded by a massive wall, and there's a couple of gates, energy gates, in that wall that can be closed off with physical gates if they need to be, through which Gator hover trains are constantly passing and gathering resources and carrying miners and workers to the rest of the planet. Um, those Gators are incredibly fast once they get going. And there's guards there as well. There's always a couple of understore guards with weapons checking everybody who comes and goes. And as you might expect, there's cannons and towers along the wall. So this whole city is pretty prepared for resistance. And the thought prior to this was that you might blow a hole or 2 in the wall so that Ripper could slip through. There's certainly other ways to do this. The Pegasus is extremely maneuverable. We talked about how the wings rotate, so you have lots of options. If you try to do something crazy with the Pegasus, it's one of the best space fighters to do it with. Not that I'm advocating for craziness. I just want you to know that you're in a
I know you're not advocating for craziness. That's how we do.
Yeah, it's pretty much irrelevant whether or not I'm advocating for craziness. So that's what we're dealing with. Right now, Bam Bam and Robin are flying low out over the ocean. You're staying below the sensor nets of the Saurian horde, so it's a good chance nobody knows you're here yet. You haven't detected any dragon launches, so nobody's sending fighters out after you, which they certainly will if they figure out that you're up to this. Look at this shirt that Evan got me.
Oh, I like that.
So that is what's going on. Last time we broke, we said we'd give you a little while to maybe think it through and see if you had an idea or a plan about how to crack this egg. I'm going to tell you right now, it's not going to be easy. Does anybody have any thoughts? Are you de-dogging, Buster?
Yes, I'm got whittled. We call it. Got whittled. She's just everywhere. Ugh. But yeah, we were kind of. I remember we were kind of debating on whether we kind of do the blast open the thing and you can kind of keep yourself on foot, and I do the distraction thing. That's like kind of what they wanted us to do, or if I just join you and go on foot with you.
Yeah, the only problem I remember with going with me was that you had your other pilot friend with you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Robin says if you need to go, I can take care of myself.
Right. Yeah. Which that was where we were at. Like,
I mean, I hope so, but still,
what we wanted to do. It's like part of me is like, I thought about it, and I'm like, yeah, I see it both ways. It can work, but at the same time, I like both of us together.
Yeah.
So yeah, but you get extracted later separately because I can't put you in a ship with me.
Right.
That's if you take the ship with you.
Right. What do you mean take the ship with me? Like
I can easily imagine a world where the ship doesn't make it.
I mean, if you have to crash anyway, and you said that that it has ejection, right?
It does.
I remember that.
It does have ejection.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, I wouldn't want to just destroy it right off the cuff as like a tactic.
Right.
I feel like disrespectful to what they're doing. Mm-hmm. The fact that they even let me fly one.
That's noble and that's appreciated.
I guess what I would want to do is I want to be in a situation where I could return to it while she goes to her extraction zone.
Mm-hmm.
And like as like kind of as they're extracting her and I'm getting out, it's like I have the opportunity to like create a diversion or problem for them if need be.
Okay.
So that's my only thing. I'd want to be able, I guess in the long run I want to be in a situation where we will split in the end as we're leaving, and she'll go
I
her
see.
way, I'll go my way, and we'll basically work in tandem that way if need be.
Okay.
So that's
you can-
the situation. So I'm about landing and putting it in a spot where it's like part way between me and her, and like or something. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying?
Okay.
Well, I could pick you up on the bike. Like that's going to carry 2 people. No problem.
Oh, okay. Well then, yeah, I land, and then like I land somewhere on the way to between your extraction zone and where we need to be, because that way when you're on your way out,
You just
you
jump
can
off.
just drop me. Yeah. So let's do it that way. I'm about that.
All right, so now we need to sneak in. We need to sneak into a landing spot, but we have to
Yeah.
Let's
get in
let's see a
first.
piloting roll from Buster to make sure that
Yeah, like I'm like looking at like the flight path of your shuttle and all the stuff. So
Okay. Go
like
ahead and
assessing.
this
Yeah, let
is
me pull out my dice.
Yep.
I need to buy new dice. Let's see. Okay, all right.
So the first step that we do is we determine a target number, which is the number that
Yeah.
Buster is trying to low at or below to get victories. The number of victories
Right.
you have tells you whether you succeed or not. So what is on your character sheet that helps you with this roll, Buster?
Obviously piloting
Yes.
first and foremost.
Yes.
Basic training.
Yes. That's 2.
Sorry, I'm pulling it. I just was listing things I knew immediately. Let me pull it up. I don't think combat applies here at all. Strategy, I think, to some degree does, because it is strategic landing.
Yep.
And placement.
Okay,
And then I'll leave that, and then we're out of skills. And I remember like I'm training to get like basically general Saurian knowledge.
Right.
Whereas I'm going for shrewd for virtue. So I have to be shrewd here. So I think I will put this as a go for shrewd thing.
How many
Hopefully,
rolls do you
I have 2. I have 2 out of 3.
Okay.
And then cunning. This is kind of cunning.
Mm-hmm.
I think so.
Yeah, it's cunning. You're trying to set them up to get trapped by you.
Intuitive. I think intuitive implies to the context that I am a pilot, so this type of person. So I am like trying, I am relying on some intuition.
You absolutely are. You got to know like what the boundaries of your sensor nets are. You've got to have a sense of whether or not you're putting yourself in danger. That's 5.
Right. Righteous, inspiring, relentless. I don't think any of those apply.
No.
Cool. This is pretty cool.
It is.
Everything's cool. Focused. Yeah, I have to be focused in this moment. And assertive, not really. It's not an assertive thing.
Okay.
It's actually, you're trying to be sneaky, so that's not so assertive. Not assertively trying to be sneaky, otherwise I'd make an argument for it.
All
Ooh,
right.
starting off the day good.
So you got 7. Did you roll just now?
Yeah.
Your target's 7. Tell me how many victories you got. Don't forget to re-roll your ones.
Yeah, I got 2 1s to re-roll. A 6 is 3 and a 2. Let me re-roll my 1s. 6 and 3 for the 1s.
Okay. And how many dice did you have?
It was body, right?
Yeah.
5.
7 victories. That's fantastic. All right. So you duck down. You come in off the water, impressing Robin. By the way, the wings,
Thank you.
You're welcome. The wings of the Pegasus rotate on balls, so they're very easily maneuverable.
Right.
It's very easy to lose your control if you're not careful. This is not a ship for amateurs. And you wheel the ship right down like an ancient avenue. And there's crumbling structures. You fly under a bridge, and you're moving nice and quick, but you're making no big deal out of it. Your emissions are nice and quiet, and
I don't want to shift anything out of. out of place. Yeah.
You fire off your retro thrusters and you just bring the ship down to a nice clean landing right in the middle of, like, hidden from all directions. Somebody would have to be directly overhead to see the
To
ship.
find me. Yeah.
Yep. And not a moment later, you can hear the distant whine of the Cerebus engine until eventually Ripper appears on a little mound of rubble.
I point my index finger out, not understanding that the hitchhiking thing is actually this. But when you're so far removed from that from a long time ago, and I bet hitchhiking in space would be more like, can I get out of here? Can I get out of here? So it would be more like she'd be like pretending to hitchhike like with like this.
Okay.
Come here.
All right. Let me.
Clearly, I thought about that in the 5 seconds I made it up.
I see that you did.
I used some logic. And thought.
You did. I'm going to make a note of it.
I actually thought about that the other day. I was thinking about the game, and I was like, I wonder like what little words, because like I think about what's that one show, in the book, Expanse, right? Everybody like Expanse has like they do such a good job of addressing language and how it developed beyond where it's used now.
I think we honestly all have Clockwork Orange to thank for that. Ever since everyone fell in love with the Anthony Burgess fake Russian language of the movie, everybody's like, we have to invent our own. We need, you know what I mean? And all of a sudden, and I think when we see things like Battlestar Galactica, for example, I think it's all because everybody admired the writing of A Clockwork Orange so much.
Well, I'm not even just like languages, like new languages, but just the idea of like slang. The slang being developed almost like into its own. Exactly. Almost like with the Belters. Yeah, the Belters are almost like a lot of their language is just slang.
Yep, absolutely. And they've got their own
Belter Creole.
They a lot of work was put into it. Absolutely.
Yeah, you gotta love fake languages.
Everybody's cuddling dogs today. That's good. That's a good thing.
I know the dogs are laying at everybody's feet. No, mine just scooted her butt across the carpet as a means of protest to me not taking her outside right now. Because when I'm up here, she obviously she doesn't have the context of like what I'm doing. Right. She's a dog, right? But she gets super mad at me because she can't understand why I'm just sitting here and I could be outside sitting. Yep. Letting her run free. Yep. So,
we have a Chihuahua as well, and she's that exact maneuver is one that we've seen many
times. Yeah, it's just like, excuse you, ma'am. You did what to my carpet, ma'am?
Yep.
Rude. But yeah, so I landed, and I hear the bzzz.
Yep. The two of you. And
I do my thing.
How do you intend to penetrate this place?
Well,
I will remind you that there are air cans. You can go and find a tower, sneak in through the fan, and go in the way you usually do. But those air cans lead directly to the air refining systems, and then the intakes of the motherships themselves. Right. So if you were to come out of those air cans and try and get around the mothership, you would be in the middle of a spaceport docking bay. Like it would be.
It would be a nightmare. It'd be kind of a pain.
It would be
to do it that way. Okay. Just from like where we're at, like we're zipping around on a little cart. Like she's an excellent driver on wheels. Whereas
I'm not flying.
Yeah, I'm the.
I feel like I'm the Obi-Wan to your Anakin.
I'm the bird. You're the horse. Yeah. So as we're like zipping around, we're kids. We're small people.
True.
If there is a crack, if there is struck, if there are ways to get in.
When does the trash come out?
Yeah, like is there a schedule of dudes
That's an
walking?
Excellent question. So the city has trash barges that fly out over the wall and just dump garbage wherever. So most of the time they'll fly out over the ocean and drop it.
Rude.
It is. Whole planets. Both of you have been to Soros at this point. Soros has a toxic atmosphere and a toxic landscape because of all the garbage that has been dumped.
Yeah, because they're gross. Because they're
Yep.
super gross.
Yep.
I mean, like, long story short, they're gross, and they make everything around them gross.
They do. They do.
Ugh, no wonder. No, like, I'm like aware enough that I'm like, ugh, as we're going through, seeing all the garbage, be like,
They're called vultures, and they literally just drop garbage from the sky. It's just a simple flying barge, and then the flooring pulls apart, and it just all tumbles down.
okay, well, how do we get on one of those? Or is there other means? Are there other things that come in and out of this building,
You
this
have
place?
you have gator hover trains constantly moving in and out.
Okay.
They do have to
So
slow down
just,
before they could reach this. They can't travel through the city at high speed because there's too much obstruction.
Right.
mhm,
So there are a few thoroughfares where the buildings have been blasted down to a flat surface, and gators are
mhm,
coming and going from the mainland. But even then, they sort of have to slow down a little bit just to just
mhm.
to just so they don't come crashing into the city itself.
Into other people, yeah, and other
Mhm.
other things,
And then once they get further away, they start picking up speed and they go really fast over the planet's surface.
of course.
So
Yeah.
so outside of the island, you probably would not be able to catch one on Cerberus, but here you probably could. You've probably done it
Mhm,
before. I will say that um, so there's different there's cargo cars on a dragon, and there's personnel cars because
mhm.
they move
Right.
labor, and
Right.
there's guard posts periodically, and and so at any given car you might find two guards at the tail end, and that means two things. That means that getting on to one of these undetected is much trickier, and it also means that trying to catch it from behind is almost definitely going to get you seen. Now that doesn't
Mm.
mean you
Gotcha.
can't deal with it. It just means you need to deal with the guards faster than they can report you.
Yeah. That or mind trick them and just
That
kind of let them give us a
Well, that's what
ride.
I was thinking is, I mean, what's the point of having this ability if you're
If you
not
can't
using it
just
to be
abuse it.
invisible?
Um,
Yes, exactly. Like, I mean, it's
okay.
not like I have compassion for these guys. I love making them stupid for a little while.
what if, here's an idea. Here's an idea. Here's an idea. Okay, what if we find like random pieces of like garbage, like something like garbage cans, something where we could hide inside of it
Uh huh.
and make them think it's like the coolest thing and they got to take it with them.
I can do it.
Yeah, we just have
But
to
if we're
place
gonna if we're
ourselves in the
gonna go
right
the
thing at the right time with the right, things.
if we're
Like,
gonna go to that
oh,
effort,
pretty
we can make
can.
ourselves less. We could do things not as stinky
Yeah, we could just literally just let like they just see a cool rock and we're the rock.
and create the motivation to just force them to need it.
Yeah,
It's pretty heartless. I mean,
I don't know. You might like once we're out of the object, it may become like their favorite. It may just remain their favorite thing.
I
You
think that
know,
would be amazing,
maybe they'll
actually.
give it to their children and be like,
Um,
"I found this on Earth before we were driven out by the tiny little people."
is there anything that they value? Like, what do they value on that level as far as
Shiny.
just, yeah.
I mean, sorry, they're
What
lizards. Okay,
what are their
their
shinies?
greatest ancestors in role playing games are the kobolds. Okay, they
It's
shiny, shiny,
true.
shiny.
Was-
It's true.
All lizard people originate from kobolds in games in tabletop games.
was-
I can I can do it. I can do it.
I'm
But
just making shit up, but
I just I just need the story. I can make it work as long as I have a story. I just have to sell it.
maybe one of them has a wife and he wanted to make her a nice new necklace and he needed a nice new piece of aluminum. Oh, and the thing we find, no, here's the thing. The thing we find happens to be a piece of pre-World War II steel. That's what makes it is special to him.
I can do
Because
it.
that is rare
World War
enough
II.
on
I'm
a
not
ruined planet.
I'm
Yeah,
not sure I'm gonna be able
any
to be that specific
steel
as a
that
kid in the
any steel that predates World War II is better because it doesn't have any fallout residue. It's true. It's real. See,
they'd know
real
that even
science.
Is that so? Why
I
does?
just made it up.
Okay.
No, I mean it's true. That is true. But I'm just saying, like, I'm just throwing it. You know,
But
you
my
never
question
know.
is
They may need that piece of steel.
why does pre-World War II steel not have fallout, and post-World War II steel, why does that have fallout?
Because it was like created after World War II. It's just like that. It's like dust that got all over everything in the world.
I see. But didn't it get all over the
And
steel though?
yeah, but it was already created. Like that steel was already mixed.
So you
it's
can
not in
wash
it.
it off. You can wash it
That was
off.
forged steel. Like what I should say is steel forged before World War, like pre-World War II
So you're
forged steel.
saying the dust doesn't necessarily make things radioactive. The dust itself is radioactive, and it gets mixed into the steel. I see.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Like there's a trace amount of it in everything, or in steel, and now and before. So any steel that was from before then is like super desirable.
That would have to be something that mattered to them. Would be things that were less tainted, corrupted. Be more useful for them.
I mean, they
But
are.
I don't know how. I don't know how we know this. I have no idea. I have no idea how we know this.
We're just spitballing.
Yeah. Well, I'm curious.
Kids are good at that.
What you are going to try and disguise yourselves as. That's what I'm curious about. So
I mean, what do we know? Like, I mean, we would have to, I guess, assess it to some degree from.
Is there anything small enough for us to be 2 gremlins in a jacket instead of 3?
That's what I'm saying. A garbage can, an old garbage can.
You could disguise yourselves as an undersore if you wanted to. You could.
I could.
You could.
I mean, we've done it before. I was just, well, not
saying we've done that before.
There's also like if you are just trying to get taken inside the base.
Yeah.
If that's your goal, if that's all you want.
That's it.
Then.
Well, taken in and placed somewhere where we can get out without being seen.
That's the challenge.
Somewhere where we're going to be forgotten for a second, for at least long enough.
Just about every single undersore base, just about every single installation, and certainly Alien City has a gladiatorial arena, where the Rexors have their champions fight whatever they can find for them to fight, and
we should have brought that armor with us.
There's no question that 2 Jump Rangers can get the Saurian Horde to take them seriously as fighters, because the Saurian Horde has lost so much to the Jump Rangers. So
wait, what do we get if we win the Gladiator Arena? What if we kill all of them? What do we get?
You get more fights. You don't get to leave the gladiatorial arena.
We don't get to become like the favorite of all time, and we become like their leaders.
Who can kill you. They're just gonna keep.
Oh,
it's
messed up.
It's not.
I was totally willing to side quest that. Okay.
Yeah. But
sorry guys, come get that Pegasus. I've got to do this for 20 days.
Do you want to know what might be in it for you? What you might get in it for you is contact with all of the other beings that have been rounded up to fight these undersores.
You could leave the revolution.
We could just destroy the arena.
If you want a gladiator army, that's where you find one.
Okay.
We might need to put a pin in this. We're supposed to be getting information right now. We can't do that if we're stuck in the arena. We can come back. We know where Earth is. We have no problem finding Earth.
I want a gladiator colony.
Would be a big distraction.
Okay, if you could figure out how to get a gladiator revolution started while I'm trying to get information, that would be a great way to distract them. But I just don't know how that's going to work out for us. Just not 100% sure.
This is definitely a different kind of problem than the problems you two have been facing before. This is a situation where they're ready for you, they're prepared. That's the difference. Everywhere you've gone until now, no one's expecting to see you there.
Yeah, but they would be like, "All right, time to roll out. Time, everybody, pack it up."
They know exactly what's going on here. They know exactly what's going on.
Oh
So,
man.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. This is what we're gonna do. We're gonna do our thing that we're supposed to do, and we're gonna do some stuff, and then we're gonna pull a fire alarm on our way out somehow.
Okay. I will find a way to do that.
Yeah, we will find a fire alarm and we will pull it.
Okay. So you just want to go steal the stuff with as little incident as possible, is what I'm hearing from you.
For now.
I think we need to be sneaky for a minute, at least
that
on the
might
way
change. That might change by next episode.
in. It often does.
It often does.
But yeah, I'm just trying to find
In
a
this
sneaky way
session.
in. Honestly, I think the best way to do it is just to convince whoever is on their way in next that we need to be with them because we are important in some way. So what are we?
So we don't want to be caught.
Are we
like
steel?
as people?
Is that what we are?
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Are we
we're
a diplomatic? Are we a diplomatic pouch?
Or we're just smart and we get under their car.
True.
I mean, it does slow down.
Yep.
Yeah. Let's just jump under a car.
Okay.
I do like straightforward.
Okay.
Yeah, because that way, if we need your ability to to get them, like they see us or something, like you can Jedi mind trick them.
Okay. I'm in.
This is the simplest solution.
So where am I driving
neither
to?
of you has ever come up to anything. So this is so you find one of the thoroughfares where they have gators coming and going through the city.
Just gonna sit like by a red light, offer to wash the windshields.
Well, we just push around a random old car that we find, and they just don't realize that there's people in it.
Okay.
All right. So you're going to move a car that hasn't moved in
like 300 years, or a bazillion years. I'm a kid. A bazillion years.
Make a
or whatever.
I'm gonna have one of you make a which one of you is like working this problem exactly?
Well, it was my problem, but now it isn't, so I'm not sure.
Okay.
It's both of us problem.
It was a place for me to actually get something done, and I am no longer in charge of this.
Make a
So if it's a body thing, it should probably be Bam Bam.
Both of you make a mind check.
That's fair.
Both of you make a mind check. You're scouting the area. You're trying to figure out how you're going to do this. Go ahead and tell me what you're doing to this roll. Buster, you first.
Focused. Cool. Keeping cool.
Yeah.
Intuitive, cunning.
Yes.
I want to have shrewd now because I was successful earlier.
Yes.
Yay.
Yeah, yourself shrewd. Exactly.
Yeah. So shrewd here. Basic strategy.
Yes.
That's about it.
That's 7. Roll your mind into 7 dice. Into a target of 7. Excuse me.
Yeah.
And tell me what you get on your victories. Liz, how's Ripper's mind?
I have no idea on this one. Ripper's not doing anything.
No,
all of my stuff is psychic, so I don't really have.
How many dice do you have in mind?
5.
5. So
yeah.
You're looking for some way to get yourself onto the gator is what you're doing. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
What do you have on your character sheet that helps you do
this? Basic.
Yep.
Smart.
Yes.
I'm not used to coming up so short.
Yeah, but you can use some of that ability to almost assess it through the minds of others.
I'm trying.
I'll give you psychic.
Well, nobody's paying attention to a card that hasn't moved in 300 years. So give me a sec. Smart. What did I say? Basic, smart, improv.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And what did you say you were going to give me?
Psychic and farseeing, because knowing what's not going to work is going to be very helpful to you.
Mm-hmm.
you have anything under affection?
Quick-witted?
Yep, that's quick-witted.
That's like
Okay, that's 6. You have 5 dice into a target of 6. Go ahead and roll it. Everything 6 and under is a victory. Don't forget to count your 8s and your 1s appropriately.
5 dice, 4 under 7, and 1 is a 1, so I will re-roll that. And it's a 4, so I have 5 victories.
How many did you get, Buster?
It's 1, 2, 3. I got a 7 as one of them, so I don't think that was a victory. And then I got a 1 I need to re-roll.
Okay.
So 3 without the 1, and then 2.
2. Okay. So this whole place is made of rubble, and they have flattened this rubble out so that the gator can fly overhead and not crash into anything.
Be impeded. Yeah.
But it's not flat. It's just flat enough for a hovercraft. You see what I'm saying? So ultimately,
Yeah.
and the hovercraft doesn't. It's not a hovercraft in the sense of air cushion. It rides on a magnetic cushion, so it doesn't need.
Gotcha.
It doesn't need for the ground to be not porous. It just needs for the ground to be there. And
so it's not like blowing air everywhere,
right.
Is what you're saying.
Yeah,
I got you.
So there are plenty of patches in this stretch of road that are just broken buildings and all kinds of other stuff that have been sort of like rolled over with something heavy until it's a little bit more smushy. Oh, okay.
So
Liz,
could she, in theory?
Liz is not connected at the moment. Let's see
Uh-oh.
if we can get Liz back.
I thought she was just being really still. My question would be, wouldn't her hoverboard work in a situation like this?
It would, actually, now that you mention
Yeah.
that.
Because, yeah.
Okay.
Hiya, Liz.
I have no idea what just happened.
So we're like, he's describing us like kind of how this thing works and how it's like on a magnetic thruster essentially, and not like blowing air everywhere. But everything's rubble around us. But it's like basically there's points in which we could probably jump and figure things out. But
you can hide underneath where you expect the gator to be. Also, Buster pointed out that your hoverboard is probably extremely useful here. Just don't forget that you have one. You both have hoverboards now, don't you? No, just you. Okay.
Yeah, I have a fancy bat that I've never used.
That's right. So.
But you've been ready to.
Yeah, it's been at the ready.
So, Buster, with your 5 victories, you managed to find like a great little nook underneath like a huge piece of concrete that had fallen and left a nice little space underneath it. So you're going to be able to see the hover train coming. You're going to be able to climb out and grab on underneath it very easily as long as you move quickly. Like there's a lot of risk here. This is not safe by any stretch of the imagination. And you are basically trying to grab onto a moving vehicle from, a shattered landscape. So you don't want to get dragged here at all.
Well, the way I kind of see the way we could do this is like I sort of grab onto it, and like Ripper is almost like sort of tethered to me or something.
Okay.
Like you have a hold of me in some way with your hoverboard at ready. That way, like I latch on, and then you basically have to just like use me almost like a hover point. Like scoot your way up on me, off of me, and then just help me on up. And we'll be in business. An Indiana Jones move if he had hoverboards. That's the way I saw it, because that way it's not both of us trying to catch it. It's one of us catches it, and the other like kind of uses the other to get up.
Okay.
So now we wait for a gator. You're muted. Still muted. Still not hearing.
I can hear you though, so
Test.
There you go.
Okay, there we
hear
go.
you.
Great.
I knew you could hear me and not him. I would, because I was like, if I could hear him.
There we go. Thank you for that. Great. So you hand the winch line from your belt pack from your
Yeah.
to Bam Bam, and the two of you wait for a gator to pass overhead. And before too long, you can see one kind of like, and they do bank as they turn. They look very much
Yeah.
like snakes, actually, um, as it starts charging down kind of the avenue towards you. You can hear the hum of the engines. The whole thing is a little bit rickety. Saurian technology is usually much older and run much harder than human technology. It's extremely durable, but they don't take care of it necessarily, so it does
They just let it break and then they replace it instead of maintaining it very
but
well. Okay.
it takes a long time for it to break. It takes a very
Yeah.
long time. So it kind of gets a little rattly as time
Yeah.
goes on. And there's exceptions. I mean, there's things they do fix, but the
Oh,
bottom
yeah.
line is, if it's an undersore vehicle, they probably don't. They probably just leave it like
There's four
Just let 'em-
underscores.
Yep,
it's just like 50 dudes. We're fine.
yep, pretty much. So you can see this sort of, I haven't exactly figured out what it looks like from the front, and I have to admit, like, I'm a little thrown off because Federico has taken everything in such a Batman direction that, like, which is working beautifully. It's the right choice, and I didn't see it
No.
coming. But I imagine it's got a nice big um intake on the front. It's probably very Batman mobile esque in the Michael Keaton sense of having that big.
Yeah, I was about to say the Michael Keaton one. Like,
Yeah.
that's very, that's very on theme for this.
Yep. And it's charging down the street ahead,
Yeah.
moving at probably about 25 miles an hour. It's fast. It's fast if you're trying to jump on board. So they
Which
don't.
we are. Haha,
Yep.
good timing.
You're well hidden. You're well hidden. They don't see you. This
Yeah.
is your chance to make that jump. Bam Bam.
All right.
So
All right.
go ahead and roll as you prepare yourself to try and grab hold of the underside of this thing. And indeed, there are lots of conduits and cables and things to grab hold of. It's not going to be so bad if you can actually get there to grab onto something, and probably even roll yourself into a cable or something. Get up on top of a piece of conduit so that you're not at risk of falling once you get there.
Yeah.
And there's a huge rush of air and jet wash and stench as this thing just passes overhead, and all of a sudden you're in the shadow. Go ahead and roll. See if you can pull this off.
Okay. I got 16731, so I gotta reroll 2 1s.
We didn't talk about difficulty, so let's get on that first.
3 7. Okay. Yeah.
What do you have to help you with this?
Okay. Assertive. This is a pretty, so you gotta be assertive to jump on something.
Yes.
Focus. You gotta be focused on how long you're gonna take before you jump.
Yes.
Cool. This will be, you
Yes.
gotta keep a cool head. Yeah.
Nope.
Relentless. Maybe.
Nope.
Inspiring. This could inspire future generations to do the same. Righteous. Righteous. I don't think there's much righteousness in jumping.
No.
Intuitive. Sure.
I'll give you a
Cunning.
Nope.
Maybe. Shrewd. Yeah, you got to know where you're latching on.
Yep, that's 5. Basic training is 6.
Yeah, basic strategy.
No.
Combat. No. Piloting.
Nope.
Maybe, but not really. Loom technology doesn't apply. So that's where we're at.
Okay. You have a target of 6.
Okay. And then I rolled. What was it? I rolled. I remember everything I did in the first 5 was like 2 1s, and then I had a 7.
Okay.
And then and everything else was like 6 and below.
Okay, great.
And then my 2 re-rolls are a 3 and a 7.
Okay. So
On
you
ones.
have 5 victories total.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me take a quick look here. That's right on the edge. Let me see here. rules of the game.
Teetering on the edge. There. That's the way I live.
Or die, as the case may be.
I mean, it's
Gutsy.
fine,
I'm gonna.
Children dying won't upset anybody at all.
I'm gonna say yes. Yes. You
but
reach it,
barely.
but there's no extra. So okay, so you managed to grab onto two big conduits, and you kind of pull yourself through in between them, and you've got this cable running down behind you, and you can hear the spool wheeling away like a fishing rod. You have to decide when to stop it and clamp it and start dragging Ripper behind you.
Yeah, as soon as I can. Like, obviously, I'm not gonna like let it go on forever or some crap.
So Ripper, I'm just going to say that your hoverboard is going to function just like any other training or virtue that you have here. Okay, your hoverboard is an asset that you can use, so you have an extra hit to your target number. So
Okay.
what's your body?
I always forget.
3.
I don't know why, because I never use it. Oh yeah, because it's
Like-
3.
Yeah, okay. I knew yours was 3 because like all mine are 5 except mine or whatever it is.
So
Spirit.
you did take a minute to kind of survey the lay of the land and see how this was all going to work. You got, as I recall, 3 victories on that roll. Was that right? Yes. So I'm going to give you 1 extra victory for that. You have an automatic victory because you did prepare for this. 1 automatic victory. You have 3 dice. Your target number is 1 because of the hoverboard, 2 because of basic training. And what else do you bring to this?
Traversal.
Yes.
Yeah, super relevant.
Improv.
Yes.
Survival.
Yes. I'll give that to you.
Survive! Survive!
Stealth.
Yes. Okay. Actually, this might not be so bad.
And because it was part of the previous, I don't see any reason not to. Oh, brave. And but I also don't see any reason why I couldn't use farseeing.
Nope. And if you can use farseeing, you can use psychic.
Yeah.
So that's 9. You have a target of 9. You have 3 dice. It would be great to see some ones. So you have 2 automatic victories. So you have 3 automatic victories.
Oh, I need to clear this. Sorry.
No worries.
5, 3, and 1.
Okay, so that's 6
That's
victories.
pretty good.
And 7 for the reroll.
Great. Fantastic. All right.
Woo!
So you brace yourself because you know that you don't have any control over when this is going to happen. You can see Bam
This is gonna
Bam
jerk you.
struggling and pulling herself up between the cables. And a moment after she disappears under the train, you feel this jerk. And you're standing there ready with your board. And you stick the board under your feet like a total pro. And you're underneath this train. So you're down nice and low. The train is whizzing by overhead you as you're dragged across all of this.
Hey, I'm doing my show.
All of these like
hell yeah, I'll come get one
edges and pieces of concrete and rebar and all of this stuff in your way. At one point, you actually bank off of a broken piece of concrete that was going to launch you into the air, do a flip, and push off against the top of the train.
Dude, you're
Boy,
doing
I've definitely
X-Games.
improved with the ancient hero Marty McFly. Eat your heart out.
Yep.
The X Games have returned to Earth.
and all of this as Bam Bam reels you in until eventually you find your way under Bam Bam and reach out and grab Bam Bam's hand, and Bam Bam pulls you up into the guts of the gator. Now you're.
And then as soon as she gets you on your feet, she goes, "Sick moves." Did you just like? Have you been practicing?
Absolutely. Yes, every chance I get. That's the whole point of having it.
You sure look like it.
Oxnest doesn't know what hit them. Anyway.
Hell yeah.
So the two of you are Let's just see if anybody manages to catch you as you go through the security gate. Nope.
Okay.
So, um, from your vantage point underneath the
Mhm.
gator, you can see the ground of ancient Tokyo rushing beneath you, and eventually things get much more smoother and much more squished and much more paved because everything's just been driven over that many more times. And um and then there's just like blackened, glassed out, um burned, scorched earth. And as you start passing above that, the whole ride becomes a lot more smooth, and then you can see the
Yeah.
shadows of the gates passing around you. And as you enter this space and you start heading towards basically a massive depot where all of the workers and all of the stuff is getting unloaded, um, and portioned off and sent to refineries or sent to the motherships or whatever the case may be. Um, you can hear the whole soundscape change inside these walls. You can hear the voices of undersource in every single direction. This place is a thriving metropolis, and um, you can hear the machines. You can hear the hum of octonators all around you. This is louder than a mothership. A mothership is more contained, and so
Right.
it tends to be more confined, and the sound bounces a lot. But here, it's just there's so much going
It's
on.
huge.
It's
Yeah.
huge. It's huge.
It's just so much buildup of noise that it's just like,
Yep.
wow.
Yep.
Okay.
And it's been a while for the both of you. You both have probably been to like Dragon City on Soros, and you've seen like what a really big Saurian city looks like. And this is not that, but it has also been a long minute since either of you were. You've been doing a lot of quiet things. You've been on mostly dead worlds.
I don't know if I'd call us quiet, but yeah, sure.
You know, you've been. I mean, the Mist Planet was nothing like this.
Right. Yeah, yeah.
Um,
This is very very much more. This is a much more active situation.
it is absolutely more active, and you're in a sea of undersource.
Yeah.
And they're all just working on whatever they're working on and going in various directions. And eventually, the gator pulls into um, kind of like a train station where it can be unloaded from either side, and there's platforms, and you can hear the sound of the work going on overhead as all of the workers are discharged, as all of the cargo is unloaded. Most of it is probably minerals and and stuff that's been mined or broken or found. And there's all this scraping and activity and everything's going on up above. You can hear footsteps everywhere.
Great.
Here you are. Welcome to Alien City.
Alien
All right.
City. Yeah.
We need a terminal.
We need snacks.
Undersore cuisine is its own special breed of dangerous.
Yeah, I don't want theirs. I don't know. They don't. When nobody needs their food, it's bad food. We've had a discussion about it, and the council has decided no.
I am happy to go there if you want to go there. I actually have, which I never
Don't
get
they
to
eat?
use. I have a Saurian cuisine hazard chart.
I'm good. I'm good.
What's that?
I'll just eat the nice human snacks I have in my little pack.
Okay. Okay. All right. So
Look.
the two of you are camped out under this dragon. It's not going to be here forever, but it's going to be here for
Yeah,
the
yeah.
next 15 minutes or so. Here it
Yeah,
is.
like we gotta
Gotta at
figure
least
out
do a little
where.
scan and figure out where to go next.
Yep.
Yeah, are we going to a specific location, or are we just getting like general information out of like something in
Well,
general?
if you want information on the comings and goings of Rexors and motherships, then you're going to have to head to the spaceport, and you're going to have to access the spaceport's main computer,
Like manifests and yeah.
in some way or another. Now you can try and access it through a terminal, but you can bet that terminal doesn't exist out here where it's just the undersource working. because
Right. So yeah, that's our goal then, to start getting diverged toward the airport. I mean, the spaceport.
Yeah, we need to get out of here anyway. So
Okay. All right. So
all right,
Yeah, we don't want to be in one place for too long.
Yeah, how far to the nearest hole in the wall?
Yeah.
So
Map hole in the walls, computer.
unfortunately, that is not
A
a
keyboard.
tool you have.
Please.
So this terminal where this thing is parked it extends in both directions. It's open on both ends because they're just going to drive it back around in a loop. You know what I mean? Back out into the world. It doesn't need to go into the city. Everything that needs to happen with it is happening right here. So there's cargo containers being loaded into hover trucks and being scooted through the city. There's now I'm questioning the wisdom of that. It is smarter for them to. I'm wondering whether or not the Gators have a network that runs throughout. They probably wouldn't. They wouldn't. They would just go in. So yeah, there's a network of trucks. So now I need to make an undersort truck. But let's see here. Okay. So all that cargo is being unloaded. You can try and catch a ride with some of that cargo, but you're probably not. You don't want to go where it's going. There's, I guess most of this stuff is going to be flying. Most of it's going to be like the stuff that's grabbing this stuff is going to be like flying cranes.
Yeah.
So most of the traffic that you're seeing is in the air because understore buildings are very round.
Yeah.
So you can either make your way through the streets, and the streets are kind of the domain of the undersoars themselves.
Right.
Like the Rexors stay inside their buildings. They stay inside their clean.
And if they need to transport, they take transport. They don't walk.
Yep.
Beneath them.
Exactly. So out there on the streets is the place where the undersource congregate, and it's the place where you could get snacks. They'll probably have vendors selling various treats and undersoar goodies. They'll probably have what passes for culture out there.
Yeah, I'd rather see the sights of kind of undersoar life and travel that way than try to.
Yep.
Because never know. We could start a revolution. We could get on a soapbox and convince a bunch of them that, it's wrong that they're oppressed by the oversoar guys.
Absolutely,
that's true. Because they're certainly not going to take pity on us, but they'll take pity on themselves.
Yeah, maybe on the way we'll find a way to teach them that the proletariat is always right.
I like it. I like your ambition. So, do you have any thoughts on how you want to move through the city?
I mean, obviously we don't. Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, how far do we have to go about? Like, how far are we from our goal?
Yeah, give us a rough miles.
You are probably half a mile from where you need to get.
Oh, really?
Okay.
That's a 10-minute walk, but with avoiding undersoars, that's like an hour long.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. All right. So, is there any way to get inside of circuits or networks or conduits from where we are? Or is it just better to maybe just lay low, keep ourselves small?
You're going to make a mind check to see if you can find. You can make a mind check to see if you can find a way.
This is also Tokyo. This is Japan. There's probably an old underground railway.
A tube, yeah.
But it's probably smashed down.
This is a plate of obsidian.
Oh.
They have melted this place. So
okay.
So the only way in and out is through an air can which they drilled themselves. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They went ahead and heated.
They kind of almost almost re-terraformed it. So
yes.
I got you part way. I understand now what you're saying when you describe it. Okay, so that's out.
Yeah.
Thought I'd try and
it's a good idea. It's a good idea.
Like, hey, there's it's Japan, so there's like little alleyways, and I mean, if there was like if it was Dallas, and there, because Dallas has all the giant highways, I'd just be like, just do the car thing again.
Yeah.
Just walk on sky bridges that are highways.
Yep. No, it's not like that. It's not like that.
Yeah, no. So yeah, so it's just getting the nooks, and we just got to go from nook and cranny to nook and cranny and watch ourselves.
Unless Liz can come up with something better. So you have a mind of 5, and you had asked, is there something you can do? You're looking for, the target was 7 on your roll outside, right? That's the same target we're going to be dealing with here. So go ahead, roll your 5 dice to a target of 7.
All right. I have a 6, a 5, a 7, a 4, and a 1.
6, 5, 7, a 4, and a 1. Go ahead, re-roll the 1, please.
6.
Okay. Okay. So you don't know of any particular like
Paths.
conduits or like secret pathways that you could use to get into. But the first thing you do notice is that there are a decent number of undersoar technicians working on, for example, the gator, making sure that it's still able to keep working, and on all the stuff that's being loaded and offloaded. There's a lot of technicians around here, and any one of them might know a lot more about the sort of infrastructure of the city than you do. So
yeah, that makes more sense to me if we're trying to
hint, hint, wink,
just let
wink,
them
nudge,
do some of
nudge.
the work. Let them do the work for us a little bit more.
Yeah, download their mind maps. Liz.
So we just need to find somebody who's a little closer to us and a little farther from anyone else who might notice if he like stops moving for a moment.
If you give one of these technicians the job of just finding his way to the mainframe with no one noticing, then you could just follow them.
We could just get in his technician bag. I bet it's big enough. We can be Chief Dinosaur O'Brien's engineering kit.
Or you could steal a uniform. You could find one of those technicians, one of them that's all like closed up for hazardous work, and just steal.
With the things that we've managed to do psychically, I don't think it would be beyond the realm of possibility to simply render ourselves unnoticeable.
Okay.
Yeah, but
we're following something like
I guess the way I look at that is I feel like that the way my brain looks at that is like you're trying to convince a lot of individual beings of like the fact that we're not one of them. Whereas I feel like if we I don't know. I don't want to overburden you, and you're like, I don't want your character to be like.
Or we can do whatever you want. Like,
no, I want to do what you.
This is a common. It's not an uncommon trope to just render yourself beneath notice. It's not a matter of showing anyone you are or hiding from anyone. It is simply that you are like.
You look like you're
just a low hum that nobody even notices.
I see what you're saying. I see.
Not as like it shouldn't be too much. Like, is that
deleting yourself? You're just not.
Yeah, we're not going to walk down the middle.
Okay,
you have to be careful.
I just didn't want like her to get like like I didn't want her to get like warped out by it or something.
Yeah, I mean,
when you put it that way, it makes way more sense. And that I see what you're saying. Like it's a lot less effort that way.
Right.
I see.
I don't have to control anyone. All you have to do is plant the thought that he has to go to the mainframe, and then he's off and running. He's like going to do his thing, and I don't.
And then then we just look like something behind him, like.
And then we just have to kind of stay to the edge, try to avoid crossing.
Look like you belong.
Yeah, intersections will be a problem, but I think we can make ourselves just not matter. I think we can do that rather than try to disguise ourselves, which is going to be
You
a
put it
lot
in a different
more.
way than I thought about it, and that's what helped.
Yeah,
I was thinking of it in a totally different angle. So thank you.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, now I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, I think trying to disguise ourselves would actually be harder. It sounds like that's a lot more roles on my part.
That's what
I'm
I'm
not the
saying.
luckiest
That-
person.
I see what you're saying. Like to you, like because in my
Yeah.
brain it's like, oh, well, we run like we just disguise ourselves, whereas you're like,
Yeah.
no, we just make them. We just
Yeah,
look insignificant.
Because the
and
longer we have to stay disguised, the more chances I have of rolling 8s, and we
Yeah,
had a really good day.
that's what I was worried about for you. Was I thought we were going to put ourselves in a situation where
Yeah.
you were constantly under pressure to keep reproving what you are to them.
Okay.
Sorry.
All right.
So sorry. Yeah, we're good.
So
The thing got all messed up.
you're doing these two things at once, basically.
I concede. No, I don't know. I feel like it's two separate actions.
Okay.
And
You
I
set him
and-
off, and then he just goes.
So you're
and then
gonna
I
give
know
also
I'm
I
just
can
giving
handle
myself another
one.
roll, aren't I?
Well, it's okay.
I
Either
can
way,
handle
it's
a
two
side of it
rolls.
if need
Either way,
be.
it's 2 rolls.
Yeah,
Okay.
That's true.
So are you gonna give him a second, and then follow him? Is that how it's gonna work?
Yeah, not too far, but
Okay.
it's sort of there should be like that connection should be enough for us to kind of stay on him.
Okay.
Um,
right.
Unless we have something we can stick to him to make it easier, but I don't know of anything we have that can do that. Little
Actually,
nail polish painter's pink dot on the edge of his.
I mean, and I can
no,
these sound like they're going to be your roles, so I can always like throw in and just assist
do
you in
have
some
something to
way.
stick on him, actually. If I'm not mistaken,
Yeah, what is it?
let me just double check and make sure that this is right. But if I'm not mistaken, I gave you when you were at the quartermasters, I gave you a pack of a
Homers.
firecracker
No,
missile
not the
variety
homers.
pack. I think there is a homing missile.
Yes. There's a homing missile. There's gloopers.
Yeah, we got
That's-
some cool
How does
missiles.
the glooper work?
You shoot it and it explodes
It's a glue.
a bunch of glue everywhere.
Yeah,
Okay, we don't want to do
it's
that.
like a
That's-
glue trap.
You have a homer.
It's like
So
Yeah.
so we can just
home
home
and either
them.
strike its target or land. Oh, but it's not. It's the other kind of homer. It goes
Yeah.
where you want it to go.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
There are trackers, but you don't have one. Okay.
Nope, that's okay. That's okay. We'll just have to stay closer behind him,
Okay.
which is, it's a risk, but I think it's still doable because I don't have to keep control of him.
Okay.
I think if I had to keep control of him and be invisible, that would be too much.
So I think.
And I'll assist you in either both if I can.
So here's how this is going to work. You're going to do.
All right.
You're going to plant the idea in his head, and then you're
All
going
right.
to roll this second roll for the psychic stuff, and that is going to serve as preparation for your sneak. So we'll just use that as a combined roll against your sneak. Does that make
Okay.
sense? Okay.
Does that mean I get to use spirit?
Yes, you do use spirit for both of these rolls.
Juliet of the Spirit.
So the first roll
All right.
is so you're trying to plant the idea in his head. What do you have to command him in particular?
Well, there is psychic, of course.
Yep.
I want to say, and I know you're going to fight me on this one, authority.
No, I'm going to allow authority on this.
Nice. How about mindful?
No.
Fudge. All right. I still want to claim stealth. Well,
Yeah.
does that not count for this one,
this
though?
is this is all part of a stealthy plan. You don't want him to draw attention to himself.
Yeah. Smart and untamed. I'm never going to have anything while we're here to roll for empathic because I can't think of a single thing. Quick-witted.
No,
It takes sympathy to trick somebody.
This has been been a long discussion, so no.
Then clever.
Yes, I'll give you
And
clever.
brave.
Basic training for sure.
Yeah. That's all I can think of.
Okay. You have 7 dice. Roll your spirit. Tell me how many victories you get.
All
right.
All of the victories.
I have 6 in spirit, and I rolled a 7, a 6, a 6, an 8, a 2, and a 7.
Okay, so you got 5. You got 5 victories. Okay. So
I feel like they're not that.
Nah.
I'm
used to being
5
able to
victories
claim.
on an understore. You're college educated.
let me just give him a contested roll. We'll see. We'll see if he's got it.
I'm used to having 2 more that I wasn't going to have for this roll.
Right.
Yeah.
That'll be good for the next roll, though.
All right.
That's
if
true.
we make this work.
Hiding a more
I would
suspicious
have
monster.
argued you need empathy in order to manipulate. So
Kind of true.
It is,
to do
but
it well, at least to do it well.
well, actually, history disagrees. History does disagree.
That's fair.
People are constantly getting manipulated by unempathic people.
That's true.
Clearly.
But those people are good at imitating empathy.
Okay. All right. These are his heart. We're gonna see how self-aware he is.
Not at all. Because
If we get the one self-aware
and has
undersort
no
in the
clue.
entire freaking joint.
No.
Okay, that's good.
You see the undersword grab their toolbox and start heading off down the street. And so now
Okay.
it's time for your spirit roll on confounding everyone. And this should be a bigger roll. This is
We have all the stuff for this one.
yeah.
I'm gonna assist her with this because I feel like this includes me. Like I have to be part of this working.
So you're trying to assist in making this happen?
Yes.
How are you doing that?
I am walking the right way.
Oh, I see. You're trying to tune in. You're trying to attune
To the things and the stuff.
Okay. All right.
So I want to lend her my assistance.
Okay. You subtract one die, and we'll see what we can do with that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so read it to me, Liz. What do you got?
Farseeing and larceny.
Yes.
Smart, untamed, psychic, traversal, stealth, curious, improv, brave.
Improv and brave.
Mindful.
Mindful. And you did not say psychic. You just said farseeing.
Oh yeah, psychic. Sorry, I was
So-
trying to go down the list and I skipped it. And
So-
then I don't know, survival if you'll let it have it, but this one's not quite as.
That's 4 automatic victories on the roll. And what do you bring to this buster?
Assertive, focused,
Focused, I'll give you.
cool,
Nope.
relentless.
You do not want to be attention.
Yeah, no. Inspiring, no. Righteous, no. Intuitive,
Yes.
cunning,
Yes.
shrewd,
Yes.
basic,
Yes.
strategy, combat, nah. Piloting, nah.
Please no.
Loom
No
tech,
combat.
no. So there you go.
Problem.
There's my
That's
few
fantastic.
to
Okay, so
contribute.
you have 10 automatic victories on this roll.
Yes.
You may not need to make a stealth check. We'll see how this goes. Roll your
5 dice.
Yeah, roll your 6 for spirit, right?
Yeah.
Rolls. Oh yeah, 5 dice. 5 dice. 5 dice.
Yeah.
Okay.
7, 3, 6, 8, 5.
Okay. So okay, so you have 13 victories on this roll. Which is substantial, obviously.
Good job.
Yeah, okay. There is, I will tell you, a sense of foreboding. There's a pit in your stomach as the two of you just kind of casually walk behind. There's something about you telling you not to trust this completely. You see what I'm saying? As you follow this undersword technician casually as possible. And the scene is certainly not gay, as it were. It's but you do see a couple of hovering food trucks with little, like, biker seats at front to drive them around, and then people behind grills in the back just kind of shoveling rancid meat and leftover things. A lot of
There's too much delicious meat that they want to eat. They don't care about us.
It's not delicious. It's what's most of the
To them it's delicious. Not to us.
It's what most of what they wind up eating is either stuff that they managed to grow in their off hours or stuff that was left over from the kills that the Rexors are making.
Oh, gross.
So some of it's a little old, and they're trying to doctor it up. So there are some pretty good undersore chefs actually, and so not some good ones, but they are typically working with kind of military rations and and whatever they can cook up at home when they're not pulling their 12-hour days, and whatever was left by the Rexors when they killed whatever monster it was that they killed most recently. So
We could totally lead a revolution here.
Yes.
Food
I
revolution.
would. Yes. You're on my page.
I mean, now we know.
hold the-
Now we know the trigger.
Wait, Ripper, all we have to do is just make a cake.
What's that?
Big cake. And they will lose their minds.
Sounds like they'd be happy with a grilled cheese sandwich at this point.
The sugar rush revolution of 2584. Or whatever year it is. I don't know.
I will tell
Doesn't
you.
really matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It's 2352. Thank you.
2352. I had pretty much all of those numbers, those numbers in there at some point. Except I have a 4. But yeah, let's just look. Let's put a pin in this. Okay, we've got to. Maybe
Look,
there's
it's
a way
things to hang on to for later.
Maybe there's a way to make land a big pot full of batter, and then over something really hot, and then they'll be like, "What is this thing?" And they'll be they won't understand, and then they'll all rush to it. They'll smell it, and it'll be over for the Rexors. The Rexors will fall by the cake. Let the Rexors eat cake. No, let the Undersores eat cake. They deserve it.
All right.
Look at these guys. They're union guys. They're dock workers. They're trying to live.
So, what exactly was your instruction to this Undersore?
Eat the cake.
What exactly did you plant in their head?
I need to go to the mainframe. Dirt.
But in. So that we can get in.
All the way to the exact spot.
That there is something that needed to be fixed on whatever system is there.
And it's their problem.
Trying to imagine this for me in my head, it was like a server room.
Yeah.
It needs a
it's a lot like that. It's maybe a little bit more matrixy than that, but yeah. So
there's places so we don't necessarily walk in. It's not like one small room, and then once we're in there, he can see us. We can stay out of the way once we're in. So
yeah,
that's not going to be.
But he's convinced. Yeah, he's convinced that he has to see one specific thing that I assume we can dodge.
He has to just slightly tighten that one screw.
Okay. So
right, he just needs to make sure the door's shut on that one computer.
Feel better. That panel.
He just needs to know that side panel wasn't left open.
Okay.
And then he'll leave.
Okay.
As soon as he's done looking at whatever he sees and sees that it's right, he's going to leave.
Yeah.
That's the other part of it. Is he just needs to make sure that the iron was turned off.
Did I unplug my curling iron when I left the house this morning?
And as soon as he sees it everything's where it's supposed to be, he's going to just go back to what he was doing.
Okay. So there is a massive spaceport building, and there's cargo being set down all around. There's concave sort of spaces where people are working and sending cargo up and down from the motherships that are stationed above and sort of waiting. And there's a grand entrance with a little bit of a tunnel, so that if anything happens to fall, it doesn't kill a Rexor. And at the gate to that entrance, there are 2 Undersore guards and kind of a scanner to make sure that nobody else is getting into trouble. And your Undersore walks up to that scanner and immediately gets into, I don't know how closely you're listening, you probably can't hear every word that he's saying, but he gets into an argument with the guards. He starts urging them.
I'm good with that. That's helpful.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Undersore. Make some trouble.
Okay.
Because as long as we can stay invisible, we can find another way into the room if we need to. But we need to be not seen going through that scanner.
Okay.
Is it something we can get around if the guards are not blocking the way?
Nope.
Just hop in his back. Hop in
Okay,
his
so you
kit.
have to go through the scanner.
You have to.
Okay, we got to go through the scanner.
To use this entrance, you have to hop through the scanner. There's probably other ways into the building if you are inclined to go find them. No, not really.
I can do it.
Okay.
We can do it.
We can do the things. Because
We
all
can do
you
it.
gotta do at
We
that
just-
point is if a blip comes up, it's just like, oh,
Yeah, we're going to be very small blips. But here's the
that
thing.
was a mistake, Gary.
There's
Go on
two
through.
options here. We can just try it, or we can have a second action. I can try to key up Mr. Undersword just a little before we go through,
Or
so
if it
that
all
he starts
goes-
like a full-on like escalated
yeah.
event, so that they're less likely to see us, so that they're both for sure
I see.
occupied. And
I see.
I will leave that to the vote. I will majority vote on this one, like
Yeah.
because that
I
that
trust
does.
your plan.
Okay.
You're good.
Which one are you going with? The extra.
Should we escalate before we push through?
Whatever you feel like. You call it. Dealer calls a shot.
I think there's less of a chance of us failing on the second if we succeed on the first. But if we fail
That's
on the first, then I
true.
still have to do the second and pass it. And if we fail on the second at that point, I don't know what we'll do.
Yeah.
Yeah, if it all goes to hell, I will just
Uh-huh.
use my bat to like
Bat,
bash
yeah.
something, and we'll blow the whole building up. And
Let's-
then it won't matter to get
We'll
the information
We'll glue
because
them and run.
we took out their spaceport, and that's going to set them back like 6
We'll-
months.
What is it? We'll glue and glitter, and then we'll run.
Yeah, it's fine. I don't worry about if a plan doesn't go to work, because a few times that the plans have really come apart, it's actually ended up better.
True.
Hi, Whittle. Bye, Whittle. Whittle disagreed. She jumped
So
down.
what are you gonna do? Are you gonna try and exacerbate the argument that's happening between them, Liz? Or
I think we should escalate. We should escalate anyway because it sounds like fun. And
Yeah,
remember,
it's entertaining.
it is. It's entertaining, and I even have something to use for that role.
Okay.
And if we needed to, we could use that distraction just to sneak away.
Yeah, that's the thing. Is I think
Honestly.
escalating is really the safest bet here, even though
Yeah.
it sounds risky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right,
So go ahead and make that roll. What do you have to bring to that roll?
all right.
Is it the
Again,
same
far
roll as
scene.
before? Yeah, it's gonna be
Almost with the addition of heartless
Add me again.
and
Add me again.
improv.
heartless and improv. Okay. You have 6 automatic victories on this roll.
Okay,
Um,
and five dice. Is that what?
Yeah. And
I
5
don't
dice. Oh,
I don't know how to add. I don't know what.
oh, that's right.
Well,
Okay,
we'll just
so
do it.
Buster, you don't need to make that roll. Actually, if Buster's sitting there being like, make him do this, make him do that. then
Yeah, I'm gonna be like, hey, tell him to say, like I'll be feeding you like little. Okay, tell him to say this to the other dinosaurs. Thank you, Agador Spartacus. You may go.
So you two egg him on. You fire his brain up, and he insists. He flat out insists on them letting him through, and you can hear their voices raising, and the two of you just casually walk over and start making your way past. And there's this moment where the second guard just takes out a disruptor pistol and blows a hole right clean through this undersword technician. Like, just explodes him.
We need to pick up the pace just a little. Let's double time it. We're gonna trot. We're gonna-
Yeah, I actually kind of feel
I
bad
do
for him.
too.
Just literally, like, in the goofiest science fiction, like, oh my god, what weapon did you build? Like, you never, like, just takes out a disruptor and just...
What is wrong with these guys?
just-
God.
Like a Monty
Alright.
Python sketch. Like, it's terrible. and both guards...
I was not expecting that.
Both
I know
guards-
neither.
Both guards are distracted for just a minute, and the two of you are... Neither of them are looking
You
at their
totally
screens,
surprised
and you
us.
just walk right through. Listen...
I think it's usually us doing it to you. This is like totally the other way around in this moment for both of us. We're like, Okay.
Holy shit.
You're gonna play
Okay.
culture
All right.
games.
Well, I guess we gotta find another technician later.
Oh my
One that
goodness.
preferably won't get shot on his way out. So.
All right.
Oh
Well,
my god, that's so funny. That's so wackadoodle. It's like a Quentin Tarantino movie or something like for kids.
It's
You hear about a watch later. I don't know.
I feel a little bad now. Not a lot bad, but a little bad.
Well, I think you've demonstrated your mastery of the situation. So
Our mastery of power walking is what we found out about in the end.
We're hustling at this point. I know that.
We're
I
not
do
like
not
running,
want-
but we're just walking really fast.
At this point, I think it's safe to say that any undersword technicians you come across are going to be relatively easy for you to control. So,
We have done it before. Badly, not well for
computer
him.
systems are in the basement, and you hijack another undersword technician. You stand right behind them in the elevator as they make their way down, and you find your way to the computer systems.
I don't know why I'm picturing the Koopas from Mario. From the movie. From the movie with the tiny little heads.
They're a little bit more
I don't know
top
why.
heavy. They're a little bit more top heavy. They're
Yeah, I know. They look like dinosaurs for real.
they have tails. But they have big haunches. They're almost like a cross between a raptor and a professional wrestler, basically.
Yeah, I remember you kind of saying that, like they're kind of like anthropomorphized raptors.
Yep.
Yeah.
So the last
Pig.
challenge for the two of you here is going to be getting what you actually want out of this computer. How are you going to do that?
Just different ways. Okay.
Is
okay.
the root?
I know enough about loom technology. I'm sure stuff in their computers. It's. Look, I could troubleshoot.
Is there anybody in there to control? Since we just lost our undersword.
You brought with you. You have the one undersword that you brought with you for sure.
You know what? How about figuring out how to do that on the fly is like my next part of training for the Undersaurus. So I'm getting training directly from an Undersaur because Liz is going to find a way to pull that from an Undersaur's brain so I can figure it out and has to explain it to me.
I can be a link.
You can link me.
Okay.
And that. So we got to find the spot. So I guess we assumedly found our spot where we could start.
And pick somebody up along the way since we just lost our dude.
No, you grab somebody on your way down. You grab somebody on your way
down. He just said we grabbed somebody else.
Okay.
So.
Okay, now I understand.
Yeah.
That was not a recap. That was a freshie.
That was him letting me just have one without.
I like fresh brains. I can link to a fresh brain. I mean, clearly I can control them, so I can do some level of translation. Even though I'm not going to understand any of it, I doubt.
Okay.
I'm just going to be.
Maybe
I'm all about impulses with these guys. I'm not really sure how to do language.
Okay.
Because I'm always making them think things.
Would it be easier? Like, and this is more of a question for, I guess, Tinny, but like it's irrelevant to you. Would it be easier for her to do it if we have one knocked out?
No, not necessarily.
Okay, I figured an awake conscious brain actually had some like mattered here, but I just wanted to know if there was like a difference
an easier way,
or any greater ease. Or is it about the same? Because I mean, it could be easier for us to have him knocked out, so we don't run the.
Well, if you're gonna learn, then the best thing
he needs to be
would
active.
be to give him a command. Give him a command.
Oh, and let him show me how to do it.
So that you say, okay, I need to see this, and if I can make him do that, then you know what it is.
So if you're tricking him into just not being bothered by the fact that I'm a human.
Literally like teaching you the alphabet by saying, show me an A kind of thing.
Let's go. Yes, partner.
I mean,
I thought you were going to link us and it was going to be like a mind warp.
But this way, if I'm the link,
it's more hands-on.
Then, because we can't be really talking, because that's gonna make things way too hard.
And
if I can link to you and you say, I need to see this, and then I have him show you that thing, like start simple and then build on the complexity, we can probably do that pretty quick, as long as you say, okay, I need to see the sign for ship,
So
or I need to
we're
see the symbol
basically
for start, or like if you
yeah.
have a couple of commands
And I could get
that
my pad out. I could get my little pad out and probably record some of it for notes for later.
and then
So
he pulls it up, and then you put it in the pad, and then you go, okay, this is the order I need to do this in, and that's how and then you can translate it. You can take that, then we can take some of it,
yeah.
right?
The first thing I'll make them
Take it back,
teach
and
me
you
how
will
to
have the
do.
ability to translate it.
The first thing I'll make them teach me how to do is to plug my pad in and to get it to start downloading information. That way he can teach me other relevant stuff to like pull, like maybe through that experience, I will learn other things to pull that humans
Okay.
aren't thinking about. Like,
What
we want their
are
manifest, but maybe I'll learn how to pull other information that's relevant for the future.
But what are some things that you would need to know to be able to translate information later?
Obviously, like you're saying, like the basic operating system, like icons and stuff like that.
Okay.
And also once I mean, think about it like from the perspective of when you're using something too. Like once you kind of get like once you learn a symbol, it's like the setting symbol because it's got a cogwheel. Like once I learn like the symbol and how it makes sense to them and why it's that shape. Like if it's not a cogwheel for them, it like a settings folder, for example, it might be like a tool they commonly, the hieroglyphics of it. So we got to figure out a few of the images and the general layout. Like if it's always got like, again, like an X at the corner of the tab out, that kind of stuff. The basic operating system. If I can learn the basic operating system, I can learn anything going forward. Because
because we'll have seen some of this before. We had to. We were hiding out on their ships. So we do have a basis.
I have a basis of it based on piloting.
Okay. So you want manifest, you want ship, you want anything to do with
personnel,
scheduling,
population.
guards. Okay.
Everything and
right.
anything. I want to pull more than they asked for.
All right, I'm ready to create an underscore tutor.
Okay. All right.
This is the coolest training. the unwilling professor.
Yeah, I like this. I like the fact that we're actually
That's the name of the episode, The Unwilling Professor. Like, what's the nutty professor? The unwilling professor.
All right.
So
this is cool.
What do you bring to this role, Liz?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's
expertise,
see. Of course,
performance.
Definitely basic farseeing and larceny for this sucker.
Yes.
Whew.
Yeah.
Smart, untamed, psychic.
Yep.
Stealth, curious, improvisation, clever, mindful, heartless, authority.
Okay.
Jeez.
Okay.
And I'd like to try to make this an empathic role because to understand and pass that across, I feel like you have to have some sort of like
you need to know
deeper understanding of an undersword, like who they really are.
You're trying to create actual communication without
and understanding. Yeah.
Neither of you understanding each other's languages. I think.
Right.
So that's
all right.
That's a you have 7 automatic victories on this roll. This is
oh crap.
So go ahead and roll your 7 dice.
This is so cool.
Spirit, right?
Yes.
Yeah, 6 dice.
6 dice, that's right.
She's got the spirit to make him show me how this works.
6, 5, 2, 6, 5, 6.
Okay, great. Okay. So that's
skating on
Thank
the edge.
Goodness, I got those 8s out of my system earlier.
That's 13.
Yeah, I know, right?
So without being aware of it,
okay,
this undersword technician starts using Ripper as his mouth, and Ripper's standing there making like guttural.
Yeah, she's got like a.
Yeah, was that you're doing your best?
She sounds like
Klingon.
Very much so. Yes.
Oh yeah. Well, no. I'm thinking of like the bug guy from Men in Black.
Oh my goodness. Yes.
Yeah,
Edgar.
That's a great sugar water.
Do you want to hear something crazy that I just learned about that character? That's Vincent D'Onofrio.
Yes.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
I know he does such a good job, doesn't he?
I had
Yeah,
no
he's great.
idea that was him. None.
Oh,
He
I
got
know.
me
There's
as when he was playing
always.
Pooh Bear in Salt and Sea. He
Oh
got me there
yeah.
too, where I was like, I know this guy, but the no nose and the total attitude. Yeah, it took me a while to figure out who that was.
There's some actors. It's like you don't know their name necessarily, or you know their name, but like like you don't realize it's them till like years later after you've seen a movie, and you're like, oh wait, like Glenn Close in Hook.
Yep. Yep.
Yes.
He's a guy.
I saw
That gets
that.
put in the boo box.
Yep. Yep. I think she did it just because she really wanted to. I think she actually demanded.
No, she was just on set visiting that day, and he was like, "You wanna do a
Alright.
part? You wanna do a
Is it-
bit?"
Cool.
I wouldn't say no to that.
Yeah.
No.
And how cool is that they outfit her to be a dude? Like,
That's
hey, okay,
excellent.
we're gonna do it in a way where people don't realize you're in it.
Yeah. Yep. That is quality.
Till the internet came along.
So, so I understand what you're asking for. What do you bring to this role to try and get this undersword to teach you everything that you're trying to learn about this computer?
Okay. So this is me. It's like trying to learn it, trying to download the info.
And
Assertive.
if you need helps, I'm already
That's
cooked
fair.
up. So
Let's see where I stand. Assertive.
Mhm.
I think it's pretty assertive to learn. Focus. That's definitely a thing. Cool.
Yep.
I think it's cool to learn. Thank you very much. And every child should think it's cool to learn. Thank you very much.
Yes.
Relentless.
behind
Gambit.
you.
Inspiring. Eh,
No. No.
righteous.
Maybe.
Maybe. Intuitive. Maybe. I mean, intuitive. Yeah, when it comes to
Intuitive
operating
counts
systems,
here.
for sure.
Yeah.
100%. Cunning. I mean, it is
Yes.
pretty. You got to be cunning to learn something. And then shrewd. I have to pay very much attention to
Yes,
everything I'm
yes.
doing.
Okay.
Wasn't there? Didn't you have
really
something
glad I
about
took shrewd.
planning as
Improv.
well? I have.
I never
improv.
took improv.
Okay.
I thought you had something to do with like planning or.
I think I was at some point, but I probably lost out on it.
Oh, okay.
I think
Never mind.
shrewd was where I was getting to.
Okay.
That shrewd's pretty
Okay.
good. It's attention to detail.
So you have.
Hey, I was just trying to give you one more, even though it didn't exist.
I know. I wish. Thank you. I appreciate you. Thanks for the attempted layup.
You have a target of 7. This is a mind check. What's your mind?
Oh wait. Basic training, strategy, combat, piloting.
Basic training. So
Pilot, I think applies because I have piloted Saurian ships.
this is not a piloting check.
Okay, that's fair. I was trying to apply it to that
All
context.
right.
All right, cool. So what am I rolling? It's a what check?
It's
mind?
It's a mind check, yeah.
Okay, that's 5 for me. Okay, we're good. 1, 5, 5, 4, 6. And let me re-roll the 1. 1.
Good.
6. Okay, there we go.
Okay.
I know, I feel like I've gotten like I've had a sprinkle of 8s, and then you had a sprinkle of 8s, and then I had a sprinkle
But they've been
of 1s.
They've been nicely like.
Yes.
I like the sprinkles rather than the rain showers.
So you clear this. You clear all the sort of logistic information out of this mainframe. All the information that like the air traffic controllers and everybody else have access to. What ships are expected, what the schedule is looking like, all of this stuff. You get all that information.
Anything and all of it that's available, yeah.
You put it up on the Saurian displays and you collect it with your data pad. You will work on decoding it later, and that will be your third.
Yeah.
That will be your third role for
yes.
Saurian training, okay?
Cool.
So
I love that.
If you can decode it and give it to, Commander Hawk, that will be your Saurian training. You have this information. This is where we're going to stop because you no longer have a way through the scanner. Unless you make one. But
we still have glue and glitter.
You have glue and glitter, and you're in a Saurian spaceport.
Yeah.
So
there's got to be a fuel tank somewhere we can light on fire.
Or
Come
a
on.
ship you can
Come
steal.
On.
There's
I was just gonna say they're not getting their ATV back. Sorry.
You know, if we had a different name, instead of calling us like the Molotov cocktails, they call us the Shirley Temples. You know, just
We do blow a lot of stuff up, don't we?
sticky. We leave it sticky. We don't leave fires. We just leave glue and glitter everywhere.
So we will find out what happens with all of that in our next session. Thank you both for joining me today. Thank you very
Yeah.
much. Congratulations on your success. Let's see if people are. We haven't
Yeah,
gotten any action
our
in
next
chat, but we do have some people watching. So thank you to that. Thank you to them.
Our next episode should be like the professor and the kids make the great escape. Or this mystery machine kills lizards.
Maybe.
This feels like a very Scooby-Doo moment. This feels like a very Scooby-Doo moment.
Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. Any parting words, Rangers?
This mystery machine kills
Lizards.
fascist lizards.
And with that, don't be a stranger, Ranger.